Welcome to Focus on Claims with Ernie Bray, CEO of ACT.
Hi, everyone. Ernie Bray here, and today I have a special guest, and this guest is in the world of computer vision and AI, and this is really an area that is becoming very exciting in the industry. And he is an entrepreneur at heart. I know that from his background. His name is Raj Pofale, and he's the CEO, founder of Claim Genius. And I'm going to just introduce you to him right now. Raj, great to have you on.
Thank you, Ernie. Thank you so much to have me here.
Hey, well, you know what? Let's just jump in and tell me, before we get into the business, tell me about your entrepreneurial spirit, your background, how you got into all this.
Well, it's an exciting journey, I would say. So I'm in the field of technology executive for last almost 22 years in US now. I'd worked for many of the Wall Street financial firms as a technology executive. But entrepreneur bug is always there in me, right? So when I was kind of bored with my earlier technology jobs, I wanted to do something disruptive, something innovative. And that's when the insurance industry kind of attracted me, because I think this is the industry which actually needs an innovation and disruption for a long, long time. And I think with AI, and with this idea of using the computer vision and videos and photos and the real-time assessment, that kind of hit hard with me, and that's how I kind of decided to give up all of my those highly paid jobs and then start this Claim Genius as a disruptive company in the field.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know being an entrepreneur, it's a challenge. It's, getting out there, get started. Were able to go out and raise capital, or how did you get the idea going on that?
No, absolutely. I think for every entrepreneur, it is timing is the most important thing, right? You get thousands of an idea, but whether those ideas are suitable for that time is really important. And conceptualizing that idea and getting the validity from the industry is very important.
Yeah.
So I think at the beginning, I did face some challenges. This is back in, I would say, mid 2017, when the industry was still not really aware of the AI and the computer vision kind of technology. So that was kind of challenging for me. But fortunate enough, I had great advisors who actually validated this idea. Plus, I tapped into the market in order to see whether I would be able to raise a capital for this. And I was lucky enough. Definitely, I've got my investors, and that's how Claim Genius journey started.
That's exciting. I mean, it's exciting. So tell me about what Claim Genius does and how it affects the industry and how it's doing things.
No, absolutely. So basically, Claim Genius is very much focused on the personal line auto insurance claims space, as well as some of the other use cases such as leasing and rental and the underwriting, where everyone wants to basically do the assessment on the vehicle, right? By which they can get the real-time damage assessment to identify what are the different parts of the vehicle are damaged, what they need to do with those parts, how many scratches that has, how many dents that have. In other words, our vision is basically to make this claims process as touchless as possible by using the computer vision and the AI. And that's what we do. So basically, we provide our white label services to the insurance carriers, to the rental and leasing agencies, to the salvage auction yards, to the recyclers, where their common use case is, how do I do the damage assessment on the vehicle, right? The insurance carriers, they want to do the line by line estimates. The leasing agencies, they want to do the post versus the pre-inspection. The underwriters, they want to do the damage assessment on the vehicle before they underwrite any policy on these vehicles, right? So all of those services that Claim Genius provides. So we provide our, white label branded FNOL app, which can be branded to any of the, customers, look and feel. It's a guided app. So basically all a customer needs to do is to take the pictures of the vehicle from 8 sides, right? 3 from the back, 3 from the front, 2 from the side, or you just shot a video.
Okay.
And all you need to do is just submit that, and that's it. Rest of the job is done by Claim Genius's AI platform. So we identify all the external parts almost like 52 parts we can identify. In addition to that, once we identify parts, we identify how many scratches you have, how many dents you have, what is the size of the dent, position of the dent. Hence, we come up with a severity analysis, and we provide whether you need to replace that part, repair that part, how much it is going to cost. So, in other words, we basically triage insurers' job in order to determine whether that vehicle is repairable or a total loss, right?
So basically, so let me jump in on that. So you're telling me that you can capture a lot of the information, or I should say the photographs at the front end. Your goal is to help triage that file to the right route of the claim, whether it's a person that needs to look at it, where it should be a total loss, or you're trying to basically reduce the friction at the front point and find out where that claim needs to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. In many of the cases, so if you really look at the claims area, if we really talk about only the claims, the insurance carrier space, right? Almost 60 to 70% of the claims always is in that minor damage category where you will have little scratches or dents or dings. You really don't need any human appraiser to look at those, right? And that's what our vision is. How do we automate that maximum amount of the volume of the claims using the AI, right? And then rest of the volume that comes into that 25-30% category where you actually need a human being to look at it, we can triage those to the respective people or the garage or the collision shop, or for that matter to the auction yard if the vehicle is total loss.
Mm-hmm. So also you mentioned something about like the underwriting aspect. This would be a great tool for underwriters, or when people are verifying somebody's vehicle to sort of identify the condition. Are you using it in that aspect as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. So basically, I mean, recently I just renewed my policy with State Farms, right? So the agent, they wanted to basically send me the pictures, right? And they took almost like 2-3 days to revert back with the decision. So that's where also Claim Genius comes into the picture. So wherever you want to either apply for the policy or you want to renew your policy, again, you just take the pictures, submit it.
Yep.
We know the thresholds given by the underwriters, how many scratches or dents are allowed and what is the size of or the percentage of damage is allowed. Based on that, we can recommend them whether they should underwrite a particular policy or they should basically, deny that policy.
Okay. Yeah, I want to jump in a little bit now about the technology behind this, which is really exciting. So when it comes to the computer vision and you're looking at damages, how do you rely on historical data to develop the product, or for accuracy, or how do you train the model, and how do you get it to work? I mean, I think our listeners out there would love to see, like, hey, what's sort of behind the scenes? How does it work?
No, absolutely. So basically, I think historic data is definitely important for any AI, for that matter, to train your algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
But there are always challenges with the historical data. You just cannot rely on the historical data blindly, right? Because we have seen a couple of, we are working right now with the global clients, right? We are working with clients in US as well as in Southeast Asia and Europe. What we found is some of the historic data is I do not want to use the word, but it is in garbage,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Garbage in, garbage out, huh?
exactly. So it is very important to have that, how good your historic data is. If you have a gold historic data, your accuracies will be great. I'll give you an example. We have seen some claims, glass damage claim, where the pictures are neat and clean, right? Whereas the estimate for that, the historic estimate I'm talking about, it says replace the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there are windshields where we have seen that they are shattered and it says no damage. I don't know
Gotcha.
how this data got into the system, maybe human mistake or ignorance, but that's the challenge. So, it is important to have, you have to have an in-house expertise who understand the field
Right.
better. You have to have a back office tool which actually curate this data better, and then only you would be able to basically train your algorithms, apply different experimentations on that, and
Mm-hmm.
then achieve the good accuracies.
That's interesting. Have you tried this on hail at all, or hail dents? Are you any success in that area? I know that's an area that is a challenge because if you don't have the right angle or you can't see it. But have you had any? I'm curious, any success on the
Actually,
hail area?
I would say a very good question. You won't believe me, but literally 15 minutes back, and this is first time in my life I have
Uh-huh.
seen in New Jersey the hell storm.
Yeah.
Literally 15 minutes back.
Wow.
I'll send you the video that I just shot. So talking about hell, we are talking literally about a small dings, right?
Hmm.
Um, our focus right now in claim engineers is how do we really mimic the human intelligence into the machines,
Hmm.
right? And that includes, the small kind of an dings to the small kind of an scratches to the big size of the dents and all. So I would be really interested to see how our algorithm worked on the hail damages. We did test it on certain,
Hmm.
and a smallest dent that we can identify was literally this kind of an small ding that our algorithms were able to identify. Hopefully I'm hoping my car is not that damaged. But
Right.
absolutely, I mean, our the goal is here to get to the level of details or a precision that we can literally eliminate some of this human aspect of the external damage assessment.
Yeah, I think really there is a lot of opportunity in computer vision. I think if for me it's exciting because in our platform and what we're working on is trying to find the best way to route a claim, obviously to put the right claims into the right hands for the right outcome. And when
Right.
you're doing that, you got to make sure, is this, I mean, can you identify a total loss right from up front and get the salvage vendor involved? Can you see that it's a complex claim and maybe see some of the initial damage, but then know that you're going to need to send somebody out in person because it has more complex damage? Or can you remove these little tiny claims? Like you said, like 60-70% of the claims are very small losses. Can those be moved along quicker at a faster pace? Because I think what's in today's world, people want things immediate. They have immediacy under their mind, and if you can do anything in the claims process, like we're talking about, that can do that, I think has huge value. Let me go. I want to go back to about training the model. And you said older, like historical data, sometimes is not as good. How then do you like hone in and really tweak the model to make it so it's more accurate? How does that done?
So we have a lot of lot of back office tools and platforms that we have developed, right, which actually looks at this data. And of course we have developed a lot of proprietary algorithms. So all the claim genius technology, it's proprietary. We do not use anything off the shelf out there, right? So we have a lot of back office tools, in-house expertise who actually look at this data, perform a lot of analysis on this. So we exactly know what data is good, where our algorithms are performing well versus where our algorithm needs the optimization or tweaking. And that's how basically we use this data. On the top of it, I mean, our approach is pretty generalized, right? We are not looking to only train a Honda or a Toyota or, for example, Ford, right? Our our approach is pretty generic. It's an vehicle as a vehicle. You go anywhere in the world and damage is in damage, right? The only condition that changes is whether you need to do the replace or the repair for those particular part, depending upon where you are located, right? So with that generic kind of an approach, and with having the global data right now across different parts of the different countries, we are able to basically make our algorithms pretty accurate. Of course it's a steep curve. So for example, getting out of the box 70% accuracy is no big deal, anybody can get it, right? But from that 70 to even 75 to 80 and onwards, that is where the steep curve starts. And what you actually need is these all in-house expertise and the niche focus, and of course the technological expertise.
Right. That totally makes sense. So what would you feel like how is the reception been with carriers and executives and insurance companies in general? Are you seeing more interest now in pushing the AI, or is there any hesitancy from anybody that's kind of concerned, like they're worried about accuracy, or like what are some of the things you're hearing out there?
No, so absolutely, I would call this. The circumstances are unfortunate for human beings, right? This COVID situation is definitely difficult for us. But I would say it is proving as in silver lining for companies like us, as at least. The reason I'll tell you. So if we go back in 2018, let's see, right? There was a lot of, I would say, pushback, or people were not really believing the fact that computer vision can work, right? And they're like, this is the technology of the future. But with this situation, it is, I would say, it is the technology of today. So in many of these organizations that we are speaking to, and in fact we are, you won't believe, but almost every other week we are getting the leads, we are getting the calls incoming, where all these CXOs and CIOs, they are looking to basically automate their process. They want to digitize it, automate it faster than they were anticipating. So I think the timing is right for us. So definitely there is a lot of excitement right now. Of
Hmm.
course, everybody is still testing the water, taking everything with a pinch of salt, I would say. But definitely the adoption has changed, the dial has changed, positively.
That's great. So, what now we talked about the personal auto side of the business and we talked about first notice of loss, but on salvage, what are some of the ways you can take computer vision and optimize the process of salvage?
Interesting question. So just to give you a little, before answering that question, just to give you a little background, how Claim Genius started, right? So Claim Genius actually started first looking at the salvage use case. So when I decided to do something disruptive and innovative, the first thing that I was attracted toward is to automate the auctions, right? The total loss auctions, and how do we basically, come up with recommended salvage bids and automate that process. But eventually it evolved into what today we are doing, right? But talking about from the, and salvage is definitely one of the milestone, or one of the product that we have on our roadmap. So it can change the salvage world drastically. Right now, when you are basically looking at this total loss vehicle, right? The auction yard or the brokerage takes couple of days in order to basically come up with a recommended salvage bid to the insurance carrier, right? Whereas using the computer vision technology and the algorithms that we have, or the platform that we have, we can instantly give them the recommended salvage bid. On the other side of the fence, where the recyclers who are purchasing this vehicle, they are always looking for the the grading and conditioning of these parts, right? What parts are good, what parts are bad. They always want to have that grade A versus grade B part, right? That's where also the computer vision comes into the picture. So we can greatly automate that salvage world with our technology as well.
So you're able to kind of actually grade the parts then with some of the salvage, actually make some determinations in there?
Right. So basically, we do have that on our roadmap as a future
Okay.
product, sometimes slotted for next year. But yes, absolutely, we can
Wow,
do that.
exciting, exciting. So, when it comes to, we talked about vehicles. Have you guys thought about, are you entering any of the commercial space or even any of the, like, the large commercial vehicles? Do you have any expertise in there, or is that something that you could expand into?
So basically, that is something slotted for future. Right
Okay.
now, we very much focused. Our focus is very much on the personal line auto business. So once
Yeah.
we master this space, then after we would be able to basically focus on the commercial vehicles, the two wheelers and RVs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But something that is also on horizon, and we would look into that once we get this in place.
That's awesome. That's exciting stuff. I mean, this whole computer vision and the way you can utilize this AI technology, I really think it has the potential to really change the game when it comes to the touchless claims, touchless triage, that kind of aspect of the business. And I think your company, you're right at the cusp of really an exciting time in the industry. And I know I've seen you at several conferences as well. And I think there's going to be a lot more interest in this. And I want to kind of, as we wrap up here, I know you guys may have some secret stuff behind the scenes going on you may not want to talk about, or you do want to talk about. Is there anything you'd like to share with the audience that is on the horizon for you guys as a company that you're excited about, or any announcements that are really coming out with the company?
No, absolutely. There are a couple of exciting announcement that is going to come in next couple of weeks. not only related to the product, but at the same time with a lot of partnerships that we have built. Last couple of years, I mean last 2 years rather,
Mhm.
we were focused to build the ecosystem, right? And I can reveal that Claim Genius is now a part of this claims ecosystem, whether that is partnering with some multinational technology firms or some international claims processing platforms. So we have already integrated with those platforms, and we are basically a part of the ecosystem now. Uh, so I would say, industry should definitely look forward for Claim Genius's, the product lines, and we are there to basically automate their business. So they should definitely look forward for that.
Hey, thanks for that info there. And then I'll close on this part too, is that the industry really is changing. I've been in the industry, gosh, myself now, almost 20, 25 years. And I've seen the industry transform over a quarter century here. And what I'm seeing more now than ever is I guess it's more of an acceptance now of more partnering with different companies in the ecosystem. And in the past, I thought there was more resistance. I think there was more a competitive nature where other companies wouldn't really work together. But what I'm seeing is a lot more partnerships, a lot more working together with different APIs, being able to integrate solutions into the systems out there, which really ultimately benefit the customer out there, the consumer, and the carrier, and all that combined really just leads to an industry that actually is more efficient and just basically better for everybody. So I think this is an exciting time, very exciting time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, Raj, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners, if they're interested out there, how they could get a hold of you, where they can find you and connect.
Absolutely. So they can definitely visit our website at claimgenius.com. They can contact directly to me by sending an email at raj@claimgenius.com, or contact us at claimgenius.com, and we revert it immediately. So
Right
thank
on.
you, Ernie. I really, really appreciate your, you reaching out to me, and
You got it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Really important, I think, for everybody in the industry to connect with each other. And when I see innovative technologies and things out there, I would love to hear the story behind it. I love the entrepreneurial side of the business and how every company, gets their origin story and how they began. And you guys caught my eye, and glad to have you on.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate and looking forward for exciting news.
You got it. All right, Raj, have a great one, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much, Ernie.
This has been Focus on Claims with Ernie Bray, President and CEO of ACD.